to find out that his grandmother died up in Canada. My next door neighbor's in Canada, right? I guess she.
You're
she
telling the
had,
world, by the way.
I know. It's okay. We're basically Canadian anyways. We're Canadian default. Okay, I have a problem.
What is that?
And I want to see if somebody maybe on stream can help me. Why does Bitfarm suck? And why does Bitfarm and Riot suck? That's even a better question. And then freaking BTBT explodes, DMG explodes.
Oh, there was some crazy action today.
What happened? Do you know or no?
Let me go to the Bitcoin chart first. And I don't know what happened to Bit Digital. That happened all in the last moments of the day. It's up like 40%. And
I don't think we're live, just so you know. Your thing's still up. Usually it's up in like seconds. Your thing goes away.
Are we live? George said we're not live. Oh, we are live.
Okay. Hello.
Hello,
Sorry.
everybody.
So you don't know what happened?
So I'll pull up the chart. We're talking about Bit Digital. Something happened at the end of the day. So here's the day. Nothing's going on all day long, and then all of a sudden, here's the volume. These are 3-minute candles. So this is the last 6 minutes of the day. And I can tell you that includes them halting trading. So I think the last 2 minutes of the day, trading was halted.
E-Trade said closed at 14.25.
So yeah, 14.25. But I mean, wow. I thought it was up a lot more than. Oh yeah, see, this is showing 11.63, but that's not where it closed. It closed in the 14s, right?
Well, they're saying it got halted at 14.25.
That's what everything except for TradingView is saying. I don't know what's going on with TradingView here.
I have a question. What platforms do people use to trade, and which one do they like the most?
Yes,
That's the question of the day. Because I don't like any of the ones I use.
It's so funny. Just a minute ago, this was all the way up here. And if you look, I don't know if you can see this. Over here, it says it closed at 14.25, but they took the candle away.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. Very strange.
Dude, why wasn't that Bitfarm?
Yeah.
Not that.
Yeah, right.
Oh, extended hours. Extended hours. It says it plummeted 16.5% after hours. It's at $11.90 right now.
That's still way, way up. It was in the 9s all day today.
This is opened at 9.94, so it was basically 10. You know what I mean? Ooh, Fidelity. I haven't tried them.
It
I
was
should try them.
at 348. It was $9.82. So now it's almost $12. I mean, that's crazy. In after hours, and it was 14. I don't know. Something happened. Maybe there was some kind of coordinated giant effort. I don't know.
Well, and I mean, is that more in line of what you think where they belong?
Well, it's funny because it actually went. See my yellow line? It said $14.37, and it closed at $14.25. However, this is my end of the year line, not my last 2 minutes of the day line. So I don't know what in the world.
Mary,
yeah,
just so you know, Mary just asked us.
Definitely.
Mary just asked us, where does she think BTBT will go from here? That's the question.
Wow.
This was Mary.
Where will it go from here? I don't know where it just went. So this is.
What do you mean you don't know where it just went?
Every time I talk about this stock, I say the same thing. It's highly, highly volatile. It is not like any of the other Bitcoin miners that I trade. And these are the things that happen. It's like totally unreliable. There's the information that on this company
20
is much less than the
Oh,
other
is this the
big...
company that you said they were getting sued?
No, these are the guys that basically they had to move their whole operation. They were in China. They had a short report in January. Somebody put out a short report and said this company's not even real. They don't exist. All their officers are in jail. That was all not correct. So I don't understand what that was all about. So eventually, I did a video on this a while back when it was at $4, and I said, you know, this is an easy buy at $4. But at $10, I have no clue what to do with this thing. Because it does stuff like go up 40% in the last 3 minutes of the day.
So this said it has a 25% short. Is that what's going on? Is it going to be a short squeeze?
I don't think there's going to be a short squeeze on this. I didn't think the short was that high, but I can check. And even so, I mean, this is up 40% in 1 minute. That's not how...
Right.
That's something else altogether.
Slapped and banked. Made up for the bag from last Friday. That's what they said.
Well, some people got out. I was reading in the online comments, some people got to sell at $14.
Really?
So
it
was a really good last minute of the day Friday for them. That's a big
I'm
win.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, you can see. I mean, we're down here at $9 all day, and then all of a sudden, boom. I'm just looking here. This is not always the absolute latest and greatest information.
But what about Greenwich, too,
20%.
by the way?
Yeah, Greenwich had a day.
Greenwich was up. Dude, what a great day it was.
Chart.
Hang on, I have to tell everybody, not that anybody cares. 2 days in a row, I made money. I can't believe it. Usually make money, lose money, make money, lose money.
A two-day win streak going into the weekend. So hopefully everybody had that, because yesterday was a really good day. Today was mostly a really good day, unless you happen to own a lot of Bit Farms and Hive.
Yeah, I do. But it's okay. I have it in another account. I don't look at that account.
I own a lot of Bit Farms. I own a medium amount of Hive. I own a medium amount of Riot. But everything else was green. So, I mean, it all worked out okay.
Ooh, Shiba's on the move. Sorry.
So I don't own any Bit Digital at the moment. So I didn't participate in whatever this was. And I don't own any Greenwich. So Greenwich was up 33.81%. And I'll tell you what really grinds my gears on that one. It is now bigger than Bit Farms. So you tell me how Greenwich has a larger market cap than Bit Farms. And it's up 33% out of the blue. I mean, this thing was struggling to hold $20, and now it's at 27, and this was not in the last 20 seconds of the day. This was all day. I mean, this candle. Yeah, this is open. This is 9:30. So this popped early and just kept going up all day into the close, 33.81%. So, I mean, other than this anomaly, I'm not counting Bit Digital. They're saying it's up 41%. Something strange went on. That will fix itself Monday morning. But Greenwich, they were legit up 33.81% today. So they are the all-time... for anybody out there who is a Greenwich believer and has been holding on, congratulations, you win. At least today you do. So that was my... I have been talking about Greenwich trying to support themselves at this line at 22, and you can see we kind of keep getting rejected at 22, which is what seems like it was going to happen today at 10 o'clock this morning, and then bam, it gapped all the way up here, which is crazy. So I don't think that's going to hold. I'll just tell you, I don't know. This is not financial advice. There doesn't seem to be any line of reasoning behind that move. It was also, this was not a short squeeze. There just is not sufficient short volume out there for this to squeeze. So I don't understand where it comes in having a 33% up day. NSC is talking about legislative concerns in Argentina for bit farms. So I did not read about that. No. Because they have a massive facility down there that they plan on moving like 70,000 machines into, or 30,000 or whatever it is. Sorry. Excuse me. So I'll have to look into that. I don't know. A lot of these things, I'll have to see how concerning that is. A lot of times this kind of stuff pops up. I know a lot of the companies are dealing with upstate New York, and they're very worried on that as well. New York has had some harsh treatment towards the Bitcoin miners recently, but I think that's all going to work out. On the Argentina thing, I don't know, so I will definitely look into that. So, just to go down the list, I mean, Hut rebounded big time today, up almost 10%. Bitfarms was up most of the day, so this kind of tanked my day. I was up most of the day, and then Bitfarms went to 0, and then it went red, and then in the last hour of the day, here, this is Bitfarms, so this was this morning, green, 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 and this was in the afternoon, red, 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 red. Basically closed at its low on the day, down over 3%. So that was strange. Riot was red all day, just a little bit. Riot, as you guys know, has just been, they are in a rut. I feel very confident that that's going to turn around, but today was not the day. And
Elon Musk launches Bitcoin payment for his business courses. He can now pay with Bitcoin.
He has business courses?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have stuff to do with his two companies?
He's always busy.
Yeah, well, he's not a big friend of Bitcoin, in my opinion. He caused some... I think he actually started what caused the entire summer bear market.
Oh, you do from his little information or what he said?
I'm calling it misinformation, because there is no way on this earth... I don't know if you guys remember, but back when Bitcoin was still going, Elon Musk came out and said, oh, we're no longer going to take Bitcoin at Tesla because apparently it's come to my attention that Bitcoin is bad for the environment. And it's like, you don't spend $2 billion on Bitcoin and not know that type of information. That's not the type of thing that later, weeks later, comes to your attention. So we all know exactly what the situation is environmentally with Bitcoin. And for those of you that don't know, I will tell you, in my opinion, it is wildly, wildly exaggerated. This is one of the greenest sectors out of any sector in the entire marketplace. They do use a lot of energy, but it's an extremely green sector. They've all reacted very swiftly to continue to get as green as they can get. So that is all FUD. And there is no way, I'm sorry, there's two options. Elon Musk is dumb, or Elon Musk was spreading FUD. Those are, because you don't spend $2 billion on something that you don't know anything about at all, only to later find out, oh, this is bad for the environment. So I don't buy that one for a second. So as you can see, I'm not over that yet.
You're just not, huh?
So he's off my list. So I'm sure he couldn't possibly care any less, but he is not in my opinion, he is not a friend of Bitcoin, and by extension, he's not a friend of the Bitcoin miners. So that's my beef with Elon Musk.
That's your beef, huh? That's your beef. Well, I mean, I hate to say this, but don't you honestly think that there's, like, is he for us or against us? That's the biggest question I want to know. And when I say us average guys, Joe Schmo, or as you say up in Canada, hey, Joe Schmo.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, because some of the things he says, you know what I mean?
My issue is very narrow. He came out and he undid what he did. It was a big deal when he said Tesla's accepting Bitcoin. So it was an even bigger deal when he said we're going to stop accepting it because it's killing the earth. So,
And then I had to hear this, guys, just so you know. You want to know what Tom figured out? Is that they use more electric to build their cars than it is to mine Bitcoin. It might have changed now, but at that point in time,
the EV industry uses way more electric. The traditional financial industry uses way more electricity than Bitcoins. You guys all probably know Christmas lights use more electricity than Bitcoin. And by the way, the energy that Bitcoin has used, these guys have been very good at using energy that would have otherwise been wasted or is, completely green, hydro, a lot of hydro, solar. So this story this was part of an anti-Bitcoin campaign that I'm sure everybody that trades the miners knows. That's a big thing. They're losing that campaign now, but they were winning all summer. Yeah, Manuel says he owns Bitcoin. I know. Both of his companies own Bitcoin, and he personally owns Bitcoin, and he was tanking it. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, you know why. Why would you do it? I know why I would do it.
Well, I assume he does everything to try to make money. So,
yeah,
for himself.
There's no doubt. Yeah. Yeah, what do you think? What's going to win, Tom? Doge or Shiba? Who are you for, Doge or Shiba? Shiba is making a run right now, just so you know.
I think they flipped back and forth. And somebody in the middle of their live stream was doing a live stream because Shiba had passed Doge, and then
Doge
did it again. Passed it in.
Doge is down to 39 billion, and Shiba's 44.8 billion right now.
Incredible.
It seems to be that they're pumping each one. You know what I mean? Do you think these two dogs like each other or something?
I think those two dogs are two dogs, in my opinion.
Oh, you think they're dogs? They're gonna dog out, huh?
Well, remember everybody was like Doge to the moon, and I'll tell you, Meet Kevin did a thing that somebody mentioned on the live stream, so I went and looked at it, and I couldn't even watch it, but he was saying, Doge $1 or Shiba Inu 10 cents. But that is not a fair comparison. Doge at $1 is still not a very big coin. Shiba Inu at 10 cents is the biggest coin in the world by a mile. So he's comparing apples and oranges. Shiba Inu at 1 cent is the biggest coin on earth by a mile. So I'm not sure where he went with that.
Jay Key has a really interesting comment, and I want to hear your thoughts on this one too. On what's his name, Mike Seller? Not Mike. What's his name, Mike Seller, right?
Yeah, Michael Saylor.
He just somebody asked about what's your strategy. What do you feel about micro strategy? And then now they have 9,000 Bitcoins.
I don't own any MicroStrategy, but I will say I think it's a slightly leveraged play on Bitcoin. So they've pretty much abandoned ship, although he says they're working on their business as usual. They are a straight up play on Bitcoin right now. However, they borrow money to buy Bitcoin. So as a result of that, they're actually a leveraged play on Bitcoin. So theoretically, you should make more money buying their stock than you would buying Bitcoin. Just the asset itself. So that's in theory, although it's trading very close to 1-to-1 with Bitcoin. Because remember, when they buy it, it's not like the miners. They're not mining it for $5,000 or $9,000. They have to buy it for retail. They pay the spot price and buy it retail. So, yeah, NCS says there's no point, just own Bitcoin. So I kind of agree with that. Theoretically, there should be a little bit of leverage, but you're probably better off just owning the coin.
Hang on a second. Some of us can't afford it, but thank you. I have a question. Are you saying they actually borrowed money to buy their Bitcoin?
Yeah, some of it,
so
yes.
So they're not using their money from their security.
No, they've done equity. They've gotten equity to buy Bitcoin, and they've gotten some loans to buy Bitcoin. Michael Saylor is buying Bitcoin by any means that he possibly can, and when they asked him how much of it he wants, he said all of it. So he is not. This is not a gray area for him.
How much do you want? All of it. I understood the assignment. I think that's what he said, right? I don't like that. Wow. So hang on, I'm trying to see how much money he borrowed to do it.
So Mark Twain said, it was good for leverage with options, and that brings up a good point. I did not look at the options on that. I'm so fixated on the miners that, I listened to Michael Saylor talk because you can't avoid him. He's everywhere. And I looked at his company, but I really didn't think about playing the options on that. So, yeah, that is possible.
So I want to know how much money he raised. I thought he just used it like with a stock option. I didn't realize he, you know what I mean? I didn't know that at all. I didn't know he actually took. Wow, can you believe 23% short interest as of 10/15
in
Michael's company, MicroStrategy. I can't believe. Wow,
shorting that company that's the stupidest short, in my opinion, that you can make in the marketplace, because they have a hard asset and their market cap is basically equal to the Bitcoin that they own. So what are you shorting? What are you hoping is going to happen? He's going to forget his wallet number? I mean, that has to be the worst, stupidest stock to short in the world. So good luck to those shorts.
Now we have our two, MT and Mark Twain. What's up with Riot? Tell me, do you know anything about Riot? Did you call them or no? You didn't speak to Riot, did you?
I didn't speak to Riot, but I know what's going on with them. They are suffering the same thing that Bitfarms is suffering. They have a massive shelf offering that's open. It's either $500 million or $600 million shelf offering, and the market is just punishing them in a way that makes no sense, because even if they were to have used all of that at their lowest possible price, the stock still shouldn't be where it is right now. So I have been slowly accumulating. I didn't have any Riot 3 months ago. So I've been accumulating because Riot's going to catch up, in my opinion. They'll hold it down as long as they can, and they're doing the same thing. Bitfarms is in the identical situation. They did this to CleanSpark for months and months, but guess what? Now CleanSpark in the last month has doubled. So, and they have a $500 million shelf offering, and they didn't double because they finished using it. They have hardly started using it. So I feel like that's the blueprint. Bitfarms and Riot need to get the word out to their shareholders without breaking any SEC rules or anything like that, that they're not going to be giving their stock away, because that's what everyone's worried about.
Well, and Riot and Bitfarm, if you guys are watching, and I know they watch every once in a while, you need to contact Tom, because I have an unbelievable idea, and I guarantee your stock would go to the moon. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. It's like the smartest idea I've ever come up with. And no, I didn't do it when I was on the toilet.
Great. Jacob's asking bit. I don't know what happened. I know they went up, 40% in the last 3 minutes of the day, and then they halted trading, and it was on large volume. So there was some kind of coordinated effort to run that stock up at the end of the day. I would think that it's not going to hold whatever they did. It was already in after hours down 15 or 20%. So
it's so funny. They halted it, and then they said that, resumes trading 4 o'clock.
Yeah, great. I don't do any trading.
And just so you guys know, guys, I want you all to know that when stuff like this happens, the SEC, it is an SEC, right? It is. They are doing it to protect the retail investor. I want you guys all to know. I don't want you to, think that they're not doing that to protect you, because they are. They are doing that to protect you.
They didn't protect the people that tried to sell at $14 this afternoon.
I'm just telling you, they're doing it to protect you, Tom. That's an incorrect statement. They protected people.
Yeah.
They let fair market. They didn't let fair market take over again.
I read a few comments online to the contrary. So Samuel's asking, when would it be a good time for Bitfarms and Riot to use their offering? And my answer to that is, they have two choices. If I was them, I would not touch that until I absolutely needed the money. And then honestly, the first time I needed the money, I would do what CleanSpark did, and I'd use my Bitcoin and let the world know I just bought a bunch of machines with Bitcoin because you guys have beat up our stock so bad. They don't have to say it out loud. That's what message it sends. I'm now buying Bitcoin machines. I'm buying miners with my Bitcoin because you guys have beat up my stock to a price where I'm not issuing it anymore. So that is the message they need to send. That's the message that CleanSpark sent, and when they did so, their stock literally doubled. So I think, at some point, something similar to that is going to happen with Bitfarm and Riot, in my opinion, because they're at, Riot used to be a larger market cap than Marathon. Marathon is now double the size of Riot. And Riot still, although Marathon has big plans, Riot still mines more Bitcoin on a monthly basis than Marathon does. So for them to be half the market cap is ludicrous. So they've got a lot of catching up to do. You can't assume for a fact that they're going to catch up, but in my opinion, this is not financial advice, but in my opinion, Riot and Bitfarm will catch up to themselves. It's the same thing. Hut 8 is now more than twice the size of Bitfarms. And by the way, Greenidge, after today's 33% run-up, has a larger market cap than Bitfarms. So those two companies, if you compare them down, by any measure, no offense to Greenidge, I think they're going to find their spot and they're going to mine some Bitcoin, but to try to for them to have a bigger market cap than Bitfarm is senselessness.
By the way, everybody's saying that Shiba's going to 0.0001 this weekend.
0.0000 3 zeros?
No, 3 zeros. Remove the fourth zero.
Then
that would be like another 100%, or is that 100%?
That makes it bigger than Ethereum.
Does it really?
Just know. So when you hear
they're gonna be bigger than Ethereum, holy smokes!
This is what I'm
saying.
That's
amazing.
When you hear stuff like that, you have to ask yourself, do the math, and say, okay, that's fine, but that makes them bigger than Ethereum.
Really?
So
is that what happened? Are they
going to be bigger than Ethereum? My answer is no. They are not going to be. So.
Oh, don't be getting all the technical stuff on me.
You know me. All I do is, this is not. this is a game of patience, but if there's one thing you can do that is within your control, you can do the math. You know, that doesn't mean you're going to have the answer for what happens today, but it's going to point you in the right direction. So that's the first thing I like to do.
Well, just so you know, Shiba is number 9 as we speak of the biggest Bitcoin. And they're predicting it to take over XRP this weekend, which is at 51, and they're at 45.
You know, number 9 through, actually like number 5 through number 10 are all about the same. They're all so many magnitudes smaller than Ethereum, and Ethereum's half the size of Bitcoin. So there's two. Even Ethereum technically is an altcoin. So you've got Bitcoin and every other coin in the world. But I would say Ethereum has earned its place as, you know, a mainstream coin. So you've got Bitcoin and Ethereum, and everybody else is fighting for that third spot. And if you guys look back, you know, go look back at your favorite YouTubers. They changed their mind. They've changed their mind from Cardano to Solano to, you know, one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And XRP sits there and lingers in the background because, you know, when their situation, if and when that clears up, they could go ballistic.
What about, you know what's number 3 right now? You would never guess in a million years.
I know, so
Okay, then you know. What is it?
It's Binance.
I couldn't believe it when I just saw that. I was like, where? What?
Yeah,
What?
They're making a big push.
Is this considered a stable coin? Is Binance considered a stable coin?
No, it's not a stable coin.
Oh.
Binance is the biggest exchange in the world. So, you know, that's not a little company. But again, even though they're in third, how far out of fourth are they?
By 18 million. I mean 18 billion.
So, you know, that's
a
one
pretty
day
big jump.
Yeah, it's a nice little lead, but isn't
it great how Tom talks about billions of dollars like, oh, that's nothing. It's only 18 billion, nothing. Who cares?
I mean, obviously I would take it if they were giving it to me, but
wow. But in the scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
In the scheme of market cap, you know, I think the crypto universe is something like $2.7 trillion now.
The only thing I'm going to say is right now, out of the top 10 coins, the highest increase in the last day is 22.9%. And guess what coin it is?
Doge.
Shiba. Shiba.
I figured it was going to be one of the two.
Yeah. Doge is getting beat up a little bit right now. Those two dogs are in a mad fight. It's a dog fight, guys. It is a dog fight.
It's a dog fight. People are having fun with both of those, and some people will make some good money. I hope that people don't end up holding huge bags of that at the end of this process. That's my worry, because you saw this with Dogecoin. They ran up to 74 cents. Everybody said they're going to $1. They're going to $10, and that was just never going to happen. I would believe at some point Dogecoin could make a run at $1, because that still leaves them at a market cap that's reasonable. But Shiba at 1 penny makes them bigger than Bitcoin, and that's just not happening.
Well, wait a second. Wait, time out. It could happen. There is a way, but you got to burn.
They literally have to burn over 99% of the tokens to have even a chance. And it's still unrealistic, but that would be even a chance to get to 10 cents. So how are they going to get 99% of the tokens? Because these tokens are all issued and in circulation. So that means they got to get everybody's tokens. What's their market cap right now?
Who?
Shiba.
Shiba market cap is 44.9.
So
billion.
They have to, in order to get 99% of the tokens, they're going to have to spend $44 billion. Burn it all. Also that it can get to 10 cents. What's their motivation for it? Who made money on that? It doesn't. If somebody can tell me the case that makes sense, you know how, first of all, it's not possible to burn 99% of the coin. It would take them 15 years under the most aggressive of plans to try to burn 99% of the coins. And that's step one in a long shot chance of them ever getting to something like 10 cents or $1.
We were wrong about the total supply is 999.993 trillion. But here's the thing for Shiba.
On
Total
Shiba,
supply.
I will tell you, they gave half of Shiba to one person, and he burned 90% of it right away. So I think the float is something like 400 trillion coins. I believe.
Here, I'll tell you exactly because I'm looking at it. It says it's 589 circling.
That is not correct.
It's not. Don't you love it when Tom knows? I'm looking at Live Coin Watch. Nope, that's wrong.
That's not correct.
It's not okay.
No, I
believe you.
It's something around 400 trillion coins.
Okay.
So, because half of them were burned immediately, so it can't be more than 50%. Anyway, even at 400 trillion coins, if it gets to $1, that makes it worth $400 trillion. Bitcoin just worked a decade and a half to become worth $1 trillion. So this thing's not getting to $400 trillion. It's not getting to 40.
You missed the secret for $1 million.
Oh, yeah, we had the secret giveaway at the very beginning.
Yes, you did miss it. You did.
No, we've just been chatting about today's action. There was a lot of very positive. So if you look at the board, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm going up and down the board. This is mostly very, very green. So it really was an excellent day for the miners. And yesterday was a really good day. So I think the majority of people probably had at least one of those 2 days be a good day, if not both of those days. My yesterday was better than my today, even though the board's more green today. Only because Bitfarms punished me today like it likes to do.
Every day seems to do it.
Well,
so, okay, well, that guy who estimated the prices of Bitcoin, what's his name? The one who
Plan B.
Right? Plan B?
Yes.
I thought Plan B was something else.
No, Plan B is... Well, he's stock to flow model, but he's also the one predicting the price of the...
So he's saying 100,000 next month. It looks like he's going to be spot on. Do you think these things... Do you think he's somebody else?
I think he's saying 70-something thousand in November and 98,000 in December, if I'm remembering correctly. So
could he have redone his idea?
No, you don't get to redo your prediction.
Oh, you can't? Well, what do you mean?
Then it's not a prediction. Then you just... I mean, eventually you're going to be exactly correct if you get to redo it.
I'm the best. I call it the next day. The day after, I'm 100% right.
Yeah, that's right. It's called a Monday morning quarterback. Hindsight is 2020.
I know. Actually, it's not. It's like 2010.
He's been pretty much on the money the last couple of months. And I think this month he said 63,000. So, I mean, we're at 62,350 right now, and we're a couple of days away from the end of the month. So, I think they're going to put this in the win column for him if we finish anywhere near that. Right? So that would make him 3 for 3.
Man, he's saying 98 and 135.
98 in November and 135 in December.
Yes.
Wow.
That's what he's saying.
Nice. Well, that's better than I thought. So good. I hope he's right. That's great. I feel like we're getting set up though, because 63 to 98 is a massive jump. So I guess, listen, if that happens, then our final stream of the month on November, we're going to have a huge party because that will all be...
I have a question. Where do you think these coins go if we go to 100,000 next month?
Where do the miners go?
Yeah, where the miners go.
I mean, the answer, you can see by today's board, the answer is so different for every miner. Here in one day, these guys are all doing the same thing under a very similar business model. And you have one you have Hive, one of the biggest ones, that was down 4%, and you have Greenidge that was up 33.8%. Neither one of them had any news today. So, this is volatile stuff in the very short term.
Just, you guys, I have a prediction. Bitfarms, $5.
Well, so far you'd be right pretty much all year, so.
Hey, what do we think? Double yeah, I think they should double too. Yeah, I'm saying, don't you think? This is not financial advice, but don't you think it would double?
I think a lot of these should double by the end of the year, especially if we get to 135,000 by the end of the year. I would expect these to more than double. I would expect some of these to 3 or 4x at 135,000, because if you run the numbers, the amount of money they're going to be making if Bitcoin's 135,000, it's I've based my numbers on Bitcoin 60,000. So, and it's not twice as good at 135,000 because every single penny of that incrementally is all profit. So,
hey, this is interesting. He says Bitcoin, Plan B just came out earlier today and said 2025 Bitcoin between 1 and 5 million. I guess he means US dollars, though. At least that's good. He's still measuring it in US dollars.
What was that?
On Reddit, there's a post out that Plan B is saying Bitcoin will hit between 1 and 5 million dollars by 2025, which isn't that far away.
That's pretty aggressive. I mean, I hope he's right. We're going to have to see how it goes over time. If it hits 135 by December, then, it's well on its way. So that would mean that this run was from like 10,000 to 135,000 in the course of over a year, but not much more.
Somebody wrote that. I'd be okay with Plan C, 500,000.
Yeah, exactly. I'll take Plan C or Plan
I'll take
B.
Plan C. That's funny to call it Plan B. Wasn't it the day after pill, like Plan B?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think it was. It was something like that.
You got to listen, if Plan A doesn't work, you got to have a Plan B. So.
You gotta.
98,000 is a very lofty goal for November. So if that happens, we're all going to be
30% increase, right?
So everybody
Roughly?
better have diamond
22?
hands. And it'll be way more than that with the miners. At $98,000 of Bitcoin, these miners are making so much that it's going to pump some of these up over 95% gross profit margin.
Okay, true or false, Tom? True or false? And I'm just putting you out there. I know this is going to be true or false. Would it be better to have Lucid Motors or Bitfarms if it goes to 100,000 next month?
That's not a true or false sentence. That's
sorry. Which one would
false.
you pick?
I'm going to say false.
Which one would you pick? Which one would you pick? Which one in your mind would be better to own?
To own the miners or Lucid?
Yeah.
You know my answer to that. I'm all in on the miners. And their business model it's not complicated. That's the beauty of what they're doing. It is not complicated. And somebody asked the question, if the hash rate goes up and the difficulty level, yes, and it's gonna go up. Just based on the orders that are put in by the North American miners, the hash rate is going to go up, but it's still nowhere near its all-time high where it was back in May. In my opinion, it will, in the next year, it will get past its all-time high. But, that's only 50 or 75% increase in the difficulty level. These guys are going to have, a lot of these guys are going to have a 300, 500, 800% increase in their hash rate. So as long as they're drastically staying ahead of that curve, then, and at the same time, remember Bitcoin, if you got Bitcoin going to 98,000 and 135,000, the numbers become just, Bitfarms is talking about having 8 exahash by the middle of next year. If Bitcoin's at 135,000, Bitfarms is trading for $5, which puts them at about $900 million market cap. They will make twice that much money next year if Bitcoin's $135,000. That's why I know, and this is not financial advice, this is just math. That's why, in my opinion, there is no way Bitfarms can stay at $5. Not if they're making $10 a share. You think their stock price is going to be $5?
If it's Bitfarms, yes. They're doing another shelf offering. There'll probably be some momentum, and they're go, we want to issue some more stock, please. We don't care about our stockholders. What about that whole fiduciary responsibility to the stockholders? Is that true?
What do you mean? Yes,
If
management has a fiduciary responsibility to the stockholders.
Isn't that to increase the price?
Hey, listen.
I'm just joking.
I don't know if it's management's fault. I do know it does seem like somehow Hut 8 has figured out exactly how to do this, while at the same time, even though Bitfarms operationally, in my opinion, is their equal, their investor relations and public relations are so far behind what Hut 8 is doing. Remember, Hut 8 just went and grabbed $173 million last month. Nobody even remembers that. Their stock's up 70%. They don't have a shelf offering. They actually already did the dilution at a low dollar point. Didn't matter. Their stock ran. So
is the theory it's better just to pull the Band-Aid off at once?
A lot of investors go under the premise. So you'll see all the time, God, I wish they would just finish this shelf offering so that, their stock could move, because uncertainty is not good in the market. But you also have to use your common sense. There's not that much uncertainty. If you assume they've already issued 100% of their shelf offering, and the market cap is still lower than it should be if all of it was issued, then you have value in that purchase. Right? Because they haven't issued all of it, but even if they did issue all of it and you do the math and it's still too low, which is, in my opinion, that is the case with Bitfarms. And by no means have they issued all of their shelf offering. Not even close.
Which is kind of sad if you think about it. So this could bleed on for another 6 months?
I think it's 24 months the shelf offerings are good for, but it's been open for a while, and they're not going to take 24 months. They don't have 24 months to do it because they've ordered a lot of machines. So sometime in the next 3 or 4 or 5 months, they're going to have to start issuing stock. But like I said, I'd spend every Bitcoin I had first, just to send a message that says we're not selling our stock. We're not issuing new shares of stock at $5. I don't care. We'll burn all our Bitcoin before we do that. That's what I would do if I was management at Bitfarms. And they wouldn't have to burn all of it. All they would have to do is do that one time, and the message would be delivered.
So what do you think it is? Do you just think it's like that somebody just didn't give them good advice? Do you think it's just because the management, the upper management decided this was the way to go, that whoever their market maker was, you know what I mean? Wanted to make more money?
I think that 3 of these companies did massive shelf offerings in the neighborhood of $500 million. And I think they did that because Bitcoin miners are very scarce, and they do not want to have to go through the process from start to finish of an offering if the opportunity comes up for them to buy miners. So if they can grab miners, they need that shelf offering at the ready to get money whenever they need it. So it was a good idea for them, but this sector has been punished. This is probably the worst sector in the entire stock market. The whole sector is being mistreated badly. So, in my opinion, a lot of people are going to look back and scratch their head that they were not buying these stocks in 2021, because pretty much all the ones that are established, all the ones near the top of my list, in my opinion, they're their ride hasn't even begun. I mean, my long-term price targets for them are way more than double. Way more.
Just question. And you don't have to give any stock, but do you think any of these will 10x or 15x in 2 years?
Yes. I don't know that any will 15x, but I think there's
10x.
some that are set to 10x. Yes.
Yeah. Did we talk about any of them today?
Well, I think we've talked about every single stock today. So
We didn't talk about any.
Oh, well, that's true. We didn't talk about any. And I don't think any's going to 10x.
So we have to talk about any now because I think this is a great education here. And I know I'm putting you on the spot and I know you're going to do a video next week on any. But there's a whole bunch of press releases right now coming out about any, right? There's so they're joining up with another company that does Bitcoin mining, correct, or something, right?
Yes.
And so then, is this a Canadian company?
No.
No, okay. And then somebody just came out with a story that said that they're going to $10.
Yeah, I mean, they're at $6.44. They've been to $10.
No.
What they want, this is what they want, which I warned you of a month and a half ago. And so far, they're not pulling it off. They started to. This was over $8 a couple weeks ago. My thought was they were going to run this up to $10 and then pull the rug on merger day. But so far, they're putting out every article they can to try to run this stock up. But I think everybody got so burned on GREE that they're not biting on any.
So explain kind of what's going to happen on any. Are they going to like do a reverse offering, or are they going to issue more share? What are they going to do?
Their situation is much less complicated than GREE's was. So Support.com and GREE merged, but they created a third company with new shares of stock in a very complicated formula, and the vast majority of shareholders were dumbfounded that from their perspective, most of their stock was gone because their stock converted, I think, at 0.11 to the new company. So, that's 87% or whatever of your stock disappearing. And that was not understood. It was not explained very well. It was too complicated. What any is going to do is just simply issue more shares. But they're going to issue, I think, 77% increase in the number of shares of that company. So that's a massive increase.
So if let's say we have 100 shares of any stock right now, how many would they issue on top of the 100?
If there was
100, so it would be 77 more?
77, essentially. It's 77% more. So, yes.
So basically, they're doubling the number of stocks that are going to be issued.
They're 3/4 of doubling the number of... Actually, no, I'm sorry. The amount of stock that's going to be left, they're actually... So, all right, I take that back. The amount of stock that's outstanding right now, which is currently 100% of the stock, is going to be 23% of the stock.
So that's like a 4-to-1 reverse split almost, isn't it?
Right.
Like what DigiHost just did to us.
NSC DigiHost was the first one that popped into my head when somebody said 10x. Yes.
They better, because if not, someone needs to get punched.
They're only $100 million company right now. So a 10x
I know, I saw
makes
that.
them $1 billion company. It's pretty easy to conceive of them
What's their hash rate?
Their hash rate is changing dramatically. They just got 2 shipments of machines in, so they're at 0.3 exahash right now. They'll be at 0.5 by the end of the year. They're getting another 1 full exahash of their own machines, and they're in a partnership with Bit Digital. Bit Digital is going to take 2 exahash of their machines and basically do a profit sharing with DigiHost. So, we don't know exactly what kind of profit that's going to generate, but they're going to be involved in, almost 4 exahash worth of mining by the end of the year next year. Now, it's not going to be straight mining, so it's not going to be 80% margin, all of that, like, it would be if they were all their own. But half of that, will be their own, and they'll get a bunch of extra money on top of that. So yeah, it's pretty easy to conceive that in the next 5 years, if DigiHost doesn't 10x in the next 5 years, I would be surprised. That's my own opinion.
That, it's funny because that made me feel better. But I will tell you what, I felt really good today about DigiHost. I actually made money. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, and we had to go through a day and a half of confusion with this changing of the stock ticker and the reverse stock split.
So why would they do that, Tom? Why would they do something like what they just did?
They just went through that because they want to list themselves on the NASDAQ. So they had to get their stock price up. And this has got to be, I will tell you, this is the most successful reverse stock split I've ever seen in my life. Now, that's almost not fair because usually by the time a company is doing a reverse stock split, it's because they're failing so badly that they have to do a reverse stock split to get their price back up to stay listed. So typically all that does is just, it raises if you do a 10-to-1, it raises your 80-cent stock to $8 so that it can take its journey from $8 back down to 80 cents. But That's not what's happening here at all. They just had to get to a certain share price to be compliant with their listing on the NASDAQ. And they actually they're up considerably after this consolidation. So they're at $5.58. They did their reverse split yesterday at $4.70. So that's a huge increase.
So usually when do they try to uplist after they do this? When do you think?
It's anybody's guess. I can tell you what they're trying to do. Uplist as fast as humanly possible. So, I don't know. Their volume is very low, but the reaction to this reverse split was outstanding. So I think that bodes well for them. And, and the one thing I will say, we've seen a lot of these companies list on the NASDAQ. And like Bitfarms, they went over to the NASDAQ so they could get that $500 million. There's just more liquidity in the NASDAQ. There's a massive amount of money available. So, that's why they like to get over to the NASDAQ so they can get some money. So my guess is that, DigiHost is going to probably try to do this. They're not going to go get $500 million, but they may go try to get $80 million or something like that.
So what you're saying is sell them. It's just...
No, I'm holding.
What are they going to do with that $80 million?
They're going to buy a yacht and sail around the world. They're going to buy Bitcoin miners.
Okay. I got to ask. The only dumb question is the one not asked.
Yes.
Remember that.
Somebody's saying, would a company like Mara buy them out? That is possible, but if they do, they're not getting them for $1 on the dollar. They're gonna have to pay 3 or 4x to buy them out because these guys know what they got.
I have a question. Do you see any consolidation or anything going on that you think?
To me, if anybody was gonna, I don't know, and I don't know who it would be, but yeah, some of these larger companies, one of the ways for them to grow and to get some vertical integration is to buy maybe something like a DMG and, allow themselves to. So that's one that could be on the block. I don't know. That's absolute speculation on my part.
Are we talking about disc golf?
Oh, the Discord.
Oh, do you want to give it out? I mean, you guys can join. It's Go ahead. You can say it.
I don't know what it is. That's how great I am at Discord. I press the button on my
Hang on. I'll
machine.
do an invite. I think, right? Is this? Yeah. I'm going to put an invite in the, whatchamacallit right now in the chat.
All right. Yeah, and it's largely inactive. We've been testing and playing around with it, and we're getting it set up. But yeah, you guys are welcome to check it out.
I did it. I got it.
All right. So let's see what Bitcoin's doing while we're chatting. So we're at 62,300.
Oh, and I'm going to tell you something what we're going to do with Discord. Tom's got some special things that he was thinking about doing. And obviously this is all Tom does for a living is these YouTube videos. He doesn't do anything else. This is it. Trust me. I wish he could have done my taxes this year. He didn't even do that. So we got an idea of how to keep track of like hash rate, when things change and all the news is coming on with these companies. Tom has been opening the channels to speak directly with the miners.
So, and I already have very elaborate spreadsheets. Obviously, you know, I got the time to do them. So I keep track of just via press releases. And that's what I'm saying about information. There's about 7 companies that give out excellent information. So you're able to track their current hash rate, their hash rate that's under purchase order, the amount of Bitcoin they mine on a monthly basis. So, you know, I've always had elaborate spreadsheets that do all that, and then I try to compare that to market cap and see who's the best value. And there's a lot of different ways to judge that. You can judge that just straight up against current hash rate, or a combination of current and future hash rate, or a combination of current hash rate, future hash rate, and the amount of Bitcoin that they're holding on their balance sheet. So I have like my own little indicators for all those things. So I think one of the things we'll do is maybe share some of that on the Discord at some point. Because it's a lot of legwork. Everybody can't sit at home and pull all that together. It's just very time consuming.
Let's see Bitcoin. We'll close it on out. Unless anybody has any questions, shoot them up.
Well, I'm going to say congratulations to everybody this week. I think probably most of you had a green week. So hopefully you did, and let's do it again next week. I feel like, so here's my weekend prediction. I think next week we break the all-time high again. So this is not financial advice, but that's my personal opinion. I think we break 67,000 next week, and sounds like maybe Plan B is going to be right. We're going to end up somewhere around 63 because October's almost over, but by the end of next week, and next week is going to be interesting because all the miners, or most of the miners, will give us their October numbers next week. So I will be doing a series of videos with each. I'm going to do, every time somebody gives an operational update, I'm going to do a video. Because that's when you can really tell what's going on. And I'll start to compare last month numbers to this month numbers. So I have my expectation of what everybody's going to mine this month. So we'll see how it compares to what they actually did. And we'll see who did a good job or who's lagging behind. I did a marathon video today if you guys are interested in marathon. So I talked a lot about that in that video.
These guys are so funny. Do you see the link, Tom?
I don't see the link.
Maybe they're watching on their phone and they don't see chat. I was thinking that could be it too.
I'm watching on my computer, but
yeah, you probably don't see it because it's in chat. You guys see it now? I put it in chat. For some reason, it doesn't show up on the. There we go.
Is it showing up?
I don't know. I've put it up a ton of times.
Well, maybe
it's
you guys
not see working. It.
Well, we can always attach it to a video if that's what we have.
Yeah, we should probably do. What we should probably start doing is putting it below the things.
So we'll do that. We'll put a link below the videos from now on, and honestly, it's still in I'm gonna call it beta testing, which means we're not using it at all right now.
Oh, there it is. Now he sees it. You see it! Yay! By the way, nobody's in the Discord besides us right now.
That's right.
So, isn't that funny?
It's our own personal Discord at the moment. So you guys are welcome to join in and see what we're doing. And we really do intend to get that up and running. This is all a lot more time consuming than I thought.
All right. Well, have a good weekend, guys.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining, and good luck, and we'll see you next week.